Hi everybody, welcome back. Now we're going to talk about finding the zeros of a real polynomial given the fact that you already know one of them. And this is going to involve repeated use of the factor theorem and a little bit of the division algorithm. So what we're going to have here is p of x equals x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6, and we know that x equals 1 is a root of that polynomial. So we want to find the other roots. So what we're going to do is first use synthetic division to figure out what the other, what this is factors as. Because the factor theorem says that if this is a root, then we should be able to factor this somehow. And synthetic division tells us how to factor this. Now, you may be wondering why this is a positive one and not a negative one. Well, remember that this is a root of a polynomial, so this is written, if you move the 1 to the other side, this is x minus 1 equals 0. And this is the factor form. And so the sign is always opposite factor, but the same as a root. So that's why we have the positive one in there. So let's do our synthetic division. And so we'll have 1 times 1 is 1, negative 2 minus 1 is a negative 1, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1, and we'll get a negative 6, and 1 times negative 6 is negative 6, and we get a 0. And this again shows that x equals 1 is a root. And if you got anything other than 0 there, you made a mistake, and go back and fix it. Now remember that this is x squared, this is x, and this is the constant term. And so what this means is that by the division algorithm, our function p of x, which is x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6, is equal to x squared from here minus x from this term minus 6 from this term. And then we have our factor form here, which is minus x minus 1. So this is your factor theorem and remainder theorem and division algorithm all getting into play here. But now notice that this is something we know how to factor. And this factors as x minus 3, x plus 2, and then the x minus 1 comes along for the ride. And so notice that by the factor theorem, x equals 3 and x equals negative 2 must also be factors, because if we plug the 3 in here, we'll get a 0, and we plug in the negative 2 here, we'll get a 0. So these are the other two zeros. So that's it for these set of videos. I hope you found them informative. As always, ask questions, and I will see you in class.